Hello and welcome to 100 Yards of Football Sports Talk Radio. I am your producer, Jeremiah Long, and joining me to talk about the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets and their team coming in for this season is the man himself, Logan Landers. How's it going, Mr. Landers?
Hey, Jeremiah, let me just say first and foremost, I'm loving the energy today, man. Always bright and happy to talk to you on Monday morning. And it's
Absolutely.
team preview season, man. We talked a lot about the NFL draft, which is coming on. A lot of prospects we've had. We spoke about some on the show. Even we had some interviews with some of the guys who got drafted. But hey, it's fine to talk individually about those guys, but it's time to talk about the team in general. And I'm excited, man. GT Georgia Tech. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, Georgia Tech. And it is Memorial Day, and we just want to give a shout out to, all the veterans and everybody who's in the armed forces, everybody who fought for our country through the years, and everybody who's, still chilling with us, all the retired veterans hanging out, ready to go see some football, ready to just hang out, go cheer for their alma maters. And so without further ado, I'll let you, Mr. Landers, jump in and tell us about the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets.
Yeah, so Georgia Tech, man. Hey, as you guys know, we film out the Metro Atlanta area. Georgia Tech is always going to be a nice soft spot for us. Of course, we got Georgia, who is the breadwinner when it comes to college football. They like I always tell people, man, Georgia Tech might not always have the best football record, but they're going to produce the most guys who are going to run the world one day. Because as a great engineering school, man, they always got a lot of brains over there. And all the guys from this football team, you don't got to worry about their IQ. You don't have to worry about that at all. You don't got to worry about them flunking classes. They're fine. So that we'll get that out of the way, which is great. Those guys are doing all that in the academic side of the ball, which is amazing for college. You got to have that. But for this Yellow Jacket team, man, they're building slowly but surely. It took a little bit of time to get under Jeff Collins' new system. They ran the triple option forever, and now they're getting away from it a little bit. They're trying to, they've been trying the past couple of years to really try and go a different route. And, well, so far it's working pretty solid. You just got to build on it each and every year. But, of course, as I always say, where does it start? With the QB. How is your quarterback going to perform this upcoming season? And Jeff Sims, hey, last year was his true freshman. He was a true freshman. And there were some growing pains. There's no doubt about that. He did not have the best season. But now that he's got a little bit of experience under his belt, knowing a little bit more of the play calls, knowing some personnel, I think that he should have a better season, no doubt about that. Because in 2020, it wasn't pretty. He didn't have the best year at all. But that's expected, though, sometimes. Sometimes, you get that amazing freshman who comes in and just lights up the world for your team, does amazing things. And sometimes, they just have a mediocre, the subpar year. And that's expected, though. They're freshmen. This is a whole new world for them, not just on the football field, but just in life. So I think that Jeff Sims is going to learn from his potential. I think he's going to live up more to his potential this upcoming season. I really do think that he's shown glimpses of having a really good few games last year. He's shown some glimpses, but I think that if he can just put it all together and just be more consistent, honestly, I think that Georgia Tech will definitely like the way he's going to progress. And I hope that Jeff Sims takes that next step because like we know, man, with social media and everything, just if you have a bad game, people want to bench you already. So I think that if Sims can come out, if he can have a solid year, silence some of the doubters, I think that he should be fine. No doubt about that. But, man, Georgia Tech, like I said, with Jeff Sims' struggles last year, the wide receiving core didn't get the feed that much. They didn't get a whole lot of production. And their leading guy, Jalen Kemp, got drafted. He's out of Georgia Tech. We did a draft profile on him, and he ended up getting drafted in the NFL. So they gotta figure something out to replace him. And while it wasn't the most outstanding amount of numbers, Jalen Kemp didn't have eye-popping numbers. Only 27 catches and a little bit over 400 yards in total, just a handful of touchdowns. If Jeff Sims can produce and if he could have a better season and keep the ball out of the hands of the opposing defenses, then I think this wide receiving core is definitely going to enjoy that a lot more, first and foremost. And I think that if they can go out there, if they can show out, they should be fine. Of course, you got Malachi Carter come back and also Sanders come back as well. Those are going to be your top two guys, your 1 and 2 combo on that wide receiving core. So I think that overall they should be fine on the offense side of the ball. Like I said, they're not going to be number one in offensive passing yards, number one in offensive production. I'm not expecting that by any means necessary. But if you can come out and you can just improve on last year, like I said, they should be fine. Also, they got McGowan coming over from Northwestern, that's going to help them out a lot. He had a little bit over 700 yards last year, so he should be fine. That's a great addition, I think. Getting him and getting just some versatility on that offense side of the ball, and they should be fine. So, like I said, just improve on that offense and just limit the turnovers, improve the offensive production, get some more touchdowns, get your wide receiving core, spread the love, and I think that they should be fine. Now let's go over to their defense, man. The defense, it wasn't pretty last year, especially rushing the opposing quarterback. Their rush defense was not the best. It wasn't. They had it's weird because they had a few games where they looked like they could beat anybody with that defensive line, but then it would change. Then they would give up, a bunch of yards. So consistency, I think, is key for the GT Yellow Jackets, man. And if they can just get a few guys who can come back on the team, learn the playbook even better, and just get some experience, man, they should be fine. I think that overall, if their defense can hold up, and if they can get a few more sacks, and if they can get a few more turnovers, all in all, I think that whole core, whether you're on the D-line, if you're on the linebacking core, if you're in the secondary as a corner or a safety, I think that if they can just step up as a team, because I'm not expecting one guy to really go out there and ball out. I'm expecting this to be very much a team effort, and that's how it's mostly been for Georgia Tech as a whole throughout their historic college football franchise career. If they can have a great team effort and come out and really just nail things down, get some more experience, and overall just put it all together, I think this could be a solid team. I definitely think they could definitely go over 500, no doubt about that. I'm expecting a solid season out of them. And we'll see how they can match up against some other great ACC teams because they do have some potential. It's just I'm not sure if it's going to happen yet or maybe next year. So we'll have to see. But I do like the way that program is running right now, and I'm excited to see how they're going to do in the future. Yeah, it looks like you muted there.
Definitely time. Yeah, sorry, I was muted there for a second. Yeah. So this is one of those teams that the fans are loyal. There are amazing athletes and just flat out amazing scholars coming out of the school. And we just know that, that alumni association is strong. They're ready to put some butts back in the seats. They're ready to see this team really do it big. So is there any final word you could give or any final advice you could give to the Georgia Tech as they come back into the season?
Yeah, so like I said, the main key for me, just for this team in general, is just Sims going to take that next leap, or you never know, because I think this is a good time to really see because he played a lot last year, and I think this might be a deciding factor, Jeremiah. Honestly, is this guy going to be your QB of the future?
Right.
If he's more consistent, if he limits turnovers, if he gets a lot more passing yards, passing touchdowns, you could hang with him for a little bit longer. But if he comes out and he does what he did last year, which is kind of 50-50 inconsistent, you don't know what you're going to get game from game, then you never know. But I like the team. I think they're going to have a solid season. It's going to be a tough one, man, because in the ACC, you got a lot of good teams. You really do. But I do think they're going to be over 500. They're going to be fine. Like I said, I'm not expecting them to win the ACC or anything like that. But as long as they're competitive, though, that's what I like to see. As long as you're at least not getting blown out by 30 points, as long as you're playing close games, I think that's all I'm looking for personally, watching this team and just growing and building. Like I said, I'm not sure if they're going to break out this year for all those guys or if they need another year with solid recruiting and see if those guys can step up. But we'll have to see. But I like this Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets team. I think they're going to do some good things. They're going to have some good games. And hopefully they can get a lot more wins, man, because it's always good when the Atlanta teams do good. There's no doubt about that.
You were right on that one. You're right on the money there. And I cannot wait to be in front of some live football. So if everybody watching, tell us, are you ready to watch some live football? And what are you looking forward to this season? We know that Georgia Tech fans are some of the loudest, most amazing fans and most supportive fans in the entire fandom. So we're looking forward to just seeing the fans out there doing their thing as well, seeing everybody get their gear together, the tailgates, and all of the great fanfare. And if you're watching right now, please give us a try over on our podcast. Go over to 100 Yards of Football on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, or anywhere that you listen to podcasts. And if you're already listening to our podcast, thank you so much. All of the sharing that you've been doing, especially sharing into Facebook groups, has been helping us so much. And we've been getting such a great reach and such a great response from our current audience and our new audience that's been joining us week after week. And so I would just let you know, everybody have a great weekend. Make sure to keep on watching college football. Get your butt into a seat and go see a game in real life, or just enjoy it over on the TV if you love that way. Which I'll tell you, there's some games and some announcers I'd much prefer to sit and listen to them do the announcing, because it adds a dynamic to the game you just can't get from being there live, which is pretty interesting to say, because it means that there's certain parts of college football, and some of my best memories of college football isn't actually being in the stands. It's listening to the game on the radio, driving down the street, and being just got my hands on the wheel, clenched. Just want to know if my team's going to pull it out. And listening to somebody like in the University of Tennessee, John Ward was one of our big ones. And just listening to those voices, week after week, and knowing that, we can reliably get that coverage, through the radio or through the television or wherever we want to hear it. So I really appreciate that. And for everybody watching, thank you so much. And tell us your stories about college football and your growing up. Did you listen to it on the radio? Did you watch it on TV? Did you get to go to a lot of games? We'd love to know more about that. So for the entire team, I am Jeremiah Long, the producer, and this is Logan Landers, and we've been giving our preview of the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets, and we'll see you on the next live video.